Veve founders Dan and David have been on an interview with the channel Tech Week and brought up some very interesting topics regarding augmented reality, virtual reality, the importance of specific collectibles, and the metaverse. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Toddler coming at you with another video, and in this one I want to go over exactly those topics and put them into perspective and connect them to some very recent news regarding some of the brands mentioned by Dan and David, but also regarding the latest news with regards to technology advancements, or rather delays, with Apple glasses, the mixed reality VR headset, and so on. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not your financial advisor, so please do your own research before you ape full degen into the Veve collectibles or the Ecomi token. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please smash the like button right now. Thanks for the like, and subscribe to my channel. Tick the little bell to always get notified, and with that out of the way, let's get started. So in the first part of the interview, Dan and David are only asked some very general questions about the Veve app and the collectibles and how they got to it. So I think we can skip that part for now. But then they have been asked about the brands that they are bringing to the app or already have brought to the app, and David was asked to name some of the brands. And when he did not reveal anything new, but he specifically recalled a brand that we already knew about since almost 3 years, and that is Capcom. But listen first for yourselves.
So what do? Do you put on your best collectible t-shirt, turn up in Hollywood at a studio and say, hey, can we partner with you and turn your physical into digital?
Yeah.
How did that play out?
Pretty much that was it. We wouldn't leave without getting some of the meeting. But you do have to keep in mind, we knock on 500-600 doors. We have meetings. Most of these juggernaut studios, they didn't understand what we were on about. And
so just give the audience some names here, because it is completely mad who you've got on board as content partners.
So I think almost every gaming movie studios with us, we have, obviously the Disney family is a quite big one. They cover from Lucasfilm, from the Marvels, the Pixar, the Disney, and the park experience. Then we have Sony, we have MGM,
Canal,
Studio Canal.
Yeah. I think it's about 2.
Universal, DC, Warner Brothers, Viacom, NBC. Pretty much all your movie studio and gaming houses are now starting to come on. We have announced Capcom from Japan, Ubisoft. It's a big French conglomerate in the gaming space.
So regarding Capcom, there are a couple of news that I want to show to you and present to you. But first, let's see how Capcom was announced and when it was announced. This one is already from 2020. And this is an article announcing a lot of brands at once, and Capcom is one of them. Together with the sub-brands of their games, Monster Hunter and Street Fighter. David Yu has gone live on Randy's channel a couple of days ago and has also spoken about the specific focus on the Japanese market for collectibles.
And obviously there's a huge market for it, especially when we start moving into the Japanese audience and the IP.
So Street Fighter and Monster Hunter are two of the games that were very successful around the world. We can see them in that Medium article, and Capcom is a Japanese game producer, so fits right into that focus. But there is more, because Capcom has just partnered with augmented reality specialist and game producer Niantic, mostly known for their super success game Pokemon Go, which brought in 50 million users in a couple of days. They have now partnered to bring an augmented reality game, Monster Hunter, where the monsters are actually placed and fought in the real world with a layer of augmented reality. So I think that is very interesting, and as you can see here, while I'm talking, it looks pretty good. So the question is, could the Veve Collectibles have something to do with that augmented reality game coming out? And is there any link between that Capcom partnership with Niantic and also the Capcom brand coming to Veve right now? So could there be any game-specific interaction between collectibles, animated collectibles, and a game that you can play in the outside world? This is absolutely wild speculation, and given the track record that Veve has right now, we can only say that the possibility of this really happening is very, very small. However, it's not impossible. The reason for this is that, for example, with the Rancor animated collectible that we see right now, collectibles are pretty detailed, very good animations. So from that side, it's not impossible to have these collectibles on the Veve app and then also apply it into at least one game. However, if we are looking at previous game speculation, like for the Marvel Mighties or other games that came out with Niantic or even Pokemon trading card game, none of these speculations have ever come to reality on the Veve app. There is no game where any collectible, be it cars or the Marvel Mighties, is implemented right now. You cannot use the lightsabers or any other collectible from the Veve app in another world or scenario than the own showrooms in the Veve app. However, Dan and David have also mentioned in that interview that collectibles are going to be used in games. And together with mentioning Capcom in that same interview, there is at least a slight chance that there might be something to this theory.
Are you going to get to the point where you can take that character and drop it into gameplay?
That is what we are working on right now.
Cool, that's mad. And I've got 2 teenage gamers. They love that.
Yeah. It makes sense. Like, people grind to, create these characters or get very special weapons. And traditionally, they are locked within the platform or within the game. Yep. But once those become NFTs or digital collectibles, there's a lot more desire to get them and collect them. And then there's obviously ongoing revenue for, both the owner and the licensor.
So the next one is that they are also explaining how they are going to use the augmented reality layer and the virtual reality layer to make collectibles come to life and to give something for collectors, that whenever you are going into your home, you have digital collectibles somewhere and your glasses on, that you would be seeing them, and that currently, for example, Apple would be working on those glasses.
And the other one is there's the augmented world. And augmented is where, Apple have already announced that they are, sort of announced that they're bringing out augmented reality glasses. So you can walk into your room and your email will be up on the side of your vision. But for us, that means that all of the digital collectibles you own, I can put them all in a corner of my house, or I can put them all on the shelves. And because I'm wearing the AR glasses, I will see them as just part of my normal life, like I will now. So that's always been a long part of the long game of our vision, that one day digital assets will be integrated into our everyday life. And then the other side is where you've got the fully virtual worlds, whether that's through computer or phone or goggles, where we can create these big worlds. And one of the other really important parts of what we do is that we give users their own open space in the 3D world, and then they can build that, design it how they want, whether it's 1 building or 5 buildings or a big landmass, and then they can put all of their collectibles in there, interact with them.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but we have the VR glasses maybe presented by Apple on the 5th of June, but the regular Apple glasses that would be really light and comfortable, where we would be able to see all of our collectibles all the time, and which is actually transparent and maybe just like regular glasses, those are, according to breaking news articles that have been released only a couple of hours from this video, more than 4 years out still due to battery technologies, as the streaming into those AR glasses is a very high energy consumption, but yet has to work on 1/10 of the energy consumption of the Apple iPhone. And as we all know, these apps, especially mode of augmented reality turned on is a very high energy consumption for now. Needless to say that an augmented reality showroom overlay always active on your specific apartment would be a very high level of energy consumption to always have those collectibles mapped into your 3D room and have them always present while you are using your goggles with maybe other applications such as calendars or interacting with your smart home or any other functionality that you can imagine. So according to this article, it is not likely that these glasses are coming out sooner than in 4 years' time. And that would put us into the next bear market already after the bull run that we are expecting. So there is plenty of time on the one hand for Veve to build the technologies that are necessary to make these collectibles come to life. But on the other hand, for everyone who is already holding big bags and is betting on a future with such glasses, that is a delay on potential high returns betting on that future development. So be very cautious of these times and delays in terms of technologies that need to be developed, especially when they are relying on huge technology jumps in the hardware space. Lastly, David and Dan have been asked what their favorite collectibles from the Veve collectibles are and which ones they think are the most precious ones. And David answers this, that especially the Season 1 collectibles, now that we are heading in Season 6, are the most precious ones, the most sought after ones, the most exciting ones for them to bring on as brands. And as we all know, these collectibles are the black and white series of Batman, for example, but also some other artist ones like Tokidoki with the Dragon Girl. And keeping that in mind that we are already in Season 6, we sometimes forget this because it's not as relevant at the moment as it was in the beginning when we have been in a bull market where people were still saying, hey, Season 2 is coming out, so Season 1 must be more valuable. But right now we have a ton of collectibles. Most of them are trending below drop price during this bear market. So keep in mind that all of these collectibles have written into their metadata that they are Season 1 collectibles. So therefore there could be a potential value, and that is not financial advice. I personally hold only some of those Season 1 collectibles. I have not stocked up on Season 1 collectibles, but they could be potentially reach higher values just because they were the first in the Veve ecosystem. However, in general, the only thing that really matters is being the first appearance of a specific brand, character, or franchise to come to the app. In general, I think that Veve Collectibles are relying heavily on the augmented reality, mixed reality trend, and also what can be done with regards to the implementation of NFTs into such popular games, into games that could go very fast, very viral, and attract millions of users. So what they really need to do is get these NFTs into those games, even enable interoperability to make that possible, and then we could see some very unexpected, very quick development for those collectibles. On the other hand, we have seen that the delays on the hardware are very heavy, and therefore it could be that we have to wait way longer than expected for an app like Veve to explode if it is still the market leader at that time. I don't believe that Veve is going away. I don't believe that Veve is going to lose all of their market share to competitors, but I believe that there are other competitors, other really good, really well-made NFTs coming up, and we will see how this competition enables Veve to get to a new level in terms of interoperability, in terms of making our collectibles have value, in terms of also integrating with crypto, especially with the Ecomi token, in terms of getting mass adoption of users. So let me know in the comments below what you think about these recent news from Apple, from Capcom, with Niantic, and also about the little interview that Dan and David have given there to Tech Week. So with that said, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video.